Hi, Kim Bonifant again from the Vintage Place. More and more treasures coming in every day. Simple little ones like a butter churn. You used to, as far as I can work out, you made the whey, skimmed it off and made your butter churning. Hard work, but a lot of fun, I think. This is the Warmalls trophy from the Roseville Bowling Club. These are little silver discs with local North Shore identities on it. Another little treasure which would hold a champagne bottle up there. Here's an example of the sort of treasures that come into the Vintage Place. Our job is to work out whether it's a real treasure or just a lovely painting. Now this one here is a classic example of the Romanticism period. It's called Lion and Lioness Resting or In Repose. It was done by Vostok, a Hungarian artist, and it became very, very famous. So famous that many other people copied it. This example here could be an ordinary copy or a special copy. We still have to work it out from this initial. We think this initials may be William Huggins. William Huggins was late 19th century, and he was similar to the famous English artist George Stubb, who did the famous horse paintings. Now, when you're researching a treasure like this one, the back of the painting is almost important as the front of the painting. Here we see it's dirty for a start. We haven't cleaned it up because each little bit of paper tells a story. The type of canvas, the things holding the canvas together, and most importantly, this little sign down here will tell us whether it's from Britain, whether it's from Hungary or France, and possibly even when. We're also looking for signs that it might have been sold at auction, which don't appear to be any on this one, but we know this came out of Europe in the beginning of last century and made its way to Australia. Well, now I'll show you some real treasures. This little piece of what is it is from the heat shield, we believe, of Vostok 2, which carried a Russian spaceman into space for the first time longer than Yuri Gagarin. Now, it's a heat shield. You can see it's burnt here. Ironically, it seems to be very similar material to the ones used in Gemini 2. Nevertheless, a piece like that today, which came from a Russian after the collapse of the Soviet Union who brought it to Australia, is now worth a lot of money. Now, while we're on the subject of space, let me show you meteorites. Now, what is a meteorite? When a meteor comes towards Earth, when it hits it, we call it a meteorite. Now, you can buy little pieces of these quite inexpensively because thousands hit the Earth every day. They're not found, of course, but when they are found, people will break them up and do everything with them. These ones like this have actually been turned into jewellery. Not very expensive, a couple of $100 maybe, and that's a heavy iron meteorite. Some of the chondrite ones are a bit more different. Some of these look like slices of metal, more in jewellery. But most importantly is this Australian one. This is from Murchison, 1969. People saw it falling, they knew where it landed, they went and got little pieces out of it, and this tiny little piece today is worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And the reason is very simple. The big ones were snapped up very quickly and went to major institutions around the world because they realised that this was older than the planet Earth, but had all the necessary things for life. Very interesting point. And last but not least, what is a tektite? A tektite is when the meteorite hits the ground, bounces up and comes down again. Pieces of glassified meteorite become known as tektites. Australia has a huge field of them in Central Australia. They're not expensive, but a nice starting point for your collection of meteorites. Here's the story of the world's first stamp. Before stamps, you'd write a letter on a sheet of paper and you'll fold it accordingly, like this, several times over, and it would be stamped. But in 1840, the British came up with the penny black, which was a stamp that you could actually put on an envelope and put the letter inside. This one is still done in the old form as they move towards 1840, the beginning of the world's first stamp. But let me tell you, it's not especially valuable. There were 69 million of them printed. But when they printed them, the government was unsure if people would make the transition from this to this. So they made what's called a mulready, which was an envelope that you could still write your story in and buy it for the same price as the penny black. They didn't really sell. People made the transition. The only thing that went wrong was that the stamp, which was like that, didn't show up on the penny black. So they had to change to a red stamp. And in doing that, they said, well, why don't we change to a red penny? So the penny red was invented sometime after they used up all the penny blacks. Now, a penny black is not rare. You can buy one for 50 in poor condition or 100, or if it's the rare numbers and it's well cut, because these were cut out of the sheet and before the perforations were added, then it may be worth more. But on the penny reds, there is one floating around, which if you can find it, will bring you $1 million. But that's sheet number 77, and they're not sure if any are still missing. But that's the story of the world's first stamp, the penny black. Next episode, the history of the Bible. The St. James Bible changed the nature of the English Bible. This is one from the 1850s, which was sold door to door. We'll talk about the Bible, and I'll show you Bibles that go back 500-600 years. And don't forget, we're melting gold and silver. If you want to bring some into us, we can help there as well. Kim Bonifan from The Vintage Place. See you next time.